I don't take a position for Mr. Trump or against Mr. Trump, nor do I offer him advice on how he should do his job. In fact, I encourage him to do the best that he can because we need him to. But that notwithstanding, it's not political. It's about taxes, and they owe us money. I had to have a defendant, so we had to have someone to sue, and we sued the head of the government. And we sued other members of the government too. It's really just to establish our case. But what I was afraid of was not retaliation, because I'm not attacking a man. I'm attacking the unlawful application of law. So I don't really think of Mr. Trump on the other side. It's not us against Mr. Trump. It's us against a law that was incorrectly applied. I expect the government to give me my money back with interest. And as soon as they do, we'll start spending it. So, because that's what we do. And right now, I'm trying to guide the company back to normalcy, which is a state of mind, not a condition. And so we want to run our company again. In 2025, we paid just over $10 million, and that led to an effective tax rate, federal, state, plus IEPA, of over 100%. Make a dollar, pay more than a dollar in taxes. Generally, every American agrees we pay too much in taxes, and no one will want to pay a tax they don't have to pay. So we're challenging an unlawful tax. I don't think that's controversial. It just was a massive disruption. And so the momentum that we had coming into the year was stopped, and people got diverted to activities that weren't that productive but were necessary. We spent a whole lot less money, so the priority of growing the company went away, and we began to focus on survival. So it's a calculator too. So this is, I think, the first catalog.
Glaringly, amazingly, a vital and important point is missing from the president's speech: that his tariffs have dramatically increased costs on American families. Costs of so many things have gone up because of these tariffs, and the American people hate the tariffs because it's increased their costs. For Donald Trump's speech to mention tariffs and not mention the costs they impose on American families shows that he is totally in a bubble. He has no understanding of what the average American family goes through. Donald Trump's speech is just like his tariffs: erratic, disorganized, based on fiction. Trump's tariff tax was illegal, and the courts agreed. And let's call these tariffs for what they are: a tax on the American people. The tariffs that Trump imposed a year ago that the courts knocked out, and the tariffs he's imposing now, are all taxes on the American people, raising their costs. The Senate has repeatedly voted on a bipartisan basis to reject this illegal trade war. Congress has the ultimate authority to undo the tariffs that Trump had imposed a year ago and the tariffs that Trump has imposed today. And we hope our Republican colleagues will join with us in rejecting these tariffs, because they're such a burden on American families and the cost that they pay. Now that he's reimposing tariffs, no one knows what the heck he's doing. He doesn't know what the heck he's doing. He's flying by the seat of his pants. The court ruled in a very strong way against him, so he said he's imposing something else, but that something else, A, may not last, and may be worse for the American people if it does. Congress has the ultimate authority to impose these tariffs. I am urging for the sake of American families, pleading with my Republican colleagues to buck Donald Trump and not allow him to impose these tariffs on the American people. Congress has the power to do it, and Congress should.
Joining me now from New York is Gene Soroka, the executive director of the Port of LA, the busiest port in the country. Gene, welcome to The Story Is for the first time.
Great to see you, Alex. Thank you.
So the Port of LA and Long Beach combined, 40% of all the stuff that comes into America goes through those ports. It's a big deal for the entire country's economy. How does this decision, when it comes to tariffs, impact your business?
Well, it adds to the uncertainty that's been pretty common now over the past year with so many announcements on trade policy and tariffs. Now, new questions have popped up. One is, do we get a refund? Is there a process for that? Unknown still. Second is, how will the new tariffs impact my company, and what decisions should I be making? And then thirdly, once I kind of figure out if there are impacts financially or I come out maybe a little bit better, do I start zipping the cargo through the supply chain to the ports so I can get in before the next announcement on trade and tariffs happens? And then with all of that, what does it mean for my customers or the consumer? And do I pass these costs on once again?
Have you seen a change in terms of business so far today, in terms of orders or activity at the port?
Not really, and for a couple reasons. It's not so much of a transactional business, but the folks on the ground are really running fast trying to do these evaluations to a T and make some decisions upcoming. Second, it's the middle of the Lunar New Year holiday in Asia, so there's not much happening right now. Most of the factories are closed down for about a week.
播报新闻是我的日常，必须时刻保持妆容和皮肤的最佳状态。当来到人生中最重要的时刻，也是 KS 逆时奇迹帮助我轻松驾驭，闪闪发光。KS 逆时奇迹活肤露全效精华、精华霜，多达5种 EGF，6大冻龄关键成分，保湿效果让我非常满意，小细纹也不再困扰我。我就是我自己的最佳女主角 ，KS 让我从容自信，光彩动人。我是我人生中的大女主。我的最爱，我做主。KS 逆时奇迹系列热卖中，下单请上快点购，透过中天新闻网 App 下单立减50，或输入 CTI 推荐码有额外折扣。